Set us free. Set us free. Set us free. Set us free. In this dark hour of need. Light our way back home, coming in from the...
Hey, this is Andy. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is where you are. Listen, I just want to talk to you for just a few minutes, and I want to ask you, are you ready to change your life? So some friends were talking to me, some that hadn't heard my story in a while, and some that hadn't ever heard my story. So I just want to kind of go over things again, just in case you're at a point where you want to know more about how I became what I've become lately. Not that I'm anything special, but some people want to know more, and some people want to change their lives for the better. And let me just run through the process, because it was a big process for me. You know, I found out that I was a diabetic when I asked my beautiful bride if she wanted to be my wife. And she said yes, and I was so blessed and thankful and excited about that. But you know what? It didn't take long after that that I started realizing that I had to become a better me, a better man, whatever you want to say. So I decided that I needed to find the financial thing to do was to support the family, and if I died, what would happen? So I needed to get insurance. Excuse me. So health insurance, I went to an insurance agent that I'd known for a long time and did all the stuff, and I failed the physical, the blood test. And I didn't know what was going on, and I asked them, what's going on? And they said, Andy, you're a diabetic. I'm sorry, let me go back. They said, Andy, we can't tell you what's wrong. You have to go to a doctor, and we can forward the reports to them, and they can tell you what's going on. So, hold on. So, I didn't even have a doctor at the time. I had already started my own computer business, and I just took care of me. And then it was time to take care of them. So I picked a doctor, and I went to the doctor, and just a whole big ordeal. And finally, when I finally got to talk to him, he said, Andy, you're a diabetic. You're a pretty serious diabetic, and we got to get this handled. I'm surprised you're not in a hospital. We've got to get this under control. So we started working, and he gave me some medicine that all it did for me was, it did no good, honestly. It probably did good, but for me, mentally and physically, it didn't do any good. It just sent me to the bathroom all day, every day for as long as I took it. So I just decided to unmedicate. It was not in my personality's best interest to live in a bathroom. So I quit taking it and figured, okay, then I don't know what I'm going to do. Of course, my queen said, well, you got to do something. And I just kind of in one ear and out the other, right? Excuse me. So that was probably, I don't know, before June. And then we got married in June. I called her and asked her, I said, so I'm a diabetic. Are you sure you want to marry me? And she said, I do. And I was so thankful that she said I do still. So we got married. And then it wasn't long after that. So this was in 2000. We got married in June. In October of 2000, some friends told me about some products that they had found that allowed people to lose weight in a really quick time. And they said, do you want to try it? And I said, you know, I think I should. I better. So I did, and did great on the products. And then the products changed a little bit, and I changed a little bit, and I ended up quit taking the products. And then, you know, so after 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it was, then I just kind of rested and lived life, I guess. Some of the things that I had learned during that nutrition time, that I had learned things about what to eat and what not to eat and when to eat and things like that. Some of it stuck with me, and then some of it, you know, kind of like a muscle or a talent. When you don't use it, you lose it. So I lost some of those things, some of those thoughts, some of that desire, some of those dreams. Well, we had some traumatic things happen in our lives. Our oldest son and his wife got pregnant, and he's a Marine. And then there were some complications with the pregnancy, and the baby was fine, but the mom, she had problems, and praise God, she's great now. But there were complications during that time. And then our oldest daughter, which is now, has our youngest granddaughter, she had some complications, and the baby was born premature. Well, I'm telling you all that to let you know that those two grand angels are amazingly precious to me. And believe it or not, I figured out that if I were going to be there for them, then I needed to change my life again. I needed to get healthier and fit. And I didn't really quite know what I was going to do. I started being a little bit more conscious about what I ate. I didn't go for the hamburger every time. I started eating more chicken. I didn't go for the French fries every time. I would get salad, or I wouldn't get potatoes. I'd get salads or green vegetables or whatever, and started getting back into that thought pattern, that mindset of being better. Well, then all of a sudden, some different friends, and thank God for good friends, told me about some other nutrition products. And the products helped me decide to get active and have energy and change my life again. And along about that time, we were with the youngest grandbaby at a park, and she took off running, and I couldn't catch her. You got to understand, I was pretty big, and I was pretty slow, and I was not used to exercising, and I was breathing pretty heavy, and she was pretty fast. So what happened was, at that time, I figured I needed to do something, and I did, and it changed my life again. And since then, since that was August of 2019, the nutritional products that I started taking helped me realize what I needed to do differently. So I changed my nutrition intake. I started eating so much better. I learned what macronutrient complex combination I needed to do for my body, for my weight loss. I found out how much water I should be drinking, and then, would you believe it or not, I started getting active and actually joined the gym and started doing so much better. Then, of course, COVID comes along, and my wife and I decided it's not safe for me to be at the gym anymore, so I remain active outside. And I was running for a while, and then had a little injury mishap, and decided to start rucking, which, for those of you who don't know, rucking is wearing either a weighted vest or a weighted backpack, and then walking at a pretty good speed for however many miles. So that part of my life, I got the activity going. I had the mindset going. I was already really grounded spiritually with our church and everything else. So I had the spiritual thing going, and now I've got the nutritional thing going. All of these things combined, and I feel that I'm so much better than I was then. So I have changed my life. Now, what does that mean as far as weight or inches or pounds or anything? Well, my total weight loss now is at 124 pounds, 112 pounds. There we go. 112 pounds. I have lost from 54-inch waist down to a 34-inch waist, which is huge. So my belt is 20 inches smaller now. Isn't that crazy? And then I was looking on Facebook, and you may have heard my post the other day, my story the other day about back in June of 2020, I decided I was going to start rucking. And I did. And my goal for June of 2020 was to wear a 20-pound weighted backpack and go for 30 miles. Well, I did that and blew it away, and have gained since then my biggest month so far has been 35 pounds with 35 pounds on my back and 90 miles. I did that in October. And then I had a little setback in November with catching COVID, or getting, however you say it. I got COVIDed, and praise God, my life wasn't affected as much by COVID as it has been for other people. I have a cough still, not near as bad as it was, and it wasn't bad in the first place, but I have a cough, and that's about the biggest extent of any lasting effects for COVID for me. So I'm able to start rucking again. I picked up back in December. This month in January has been good. So my life has changed. I learned what to do differently with nutrition. I learned what to do differently with exercise, realizing that exercise only plays a small part of getting your body well again. I've learned what to do differently as far as mentally, and how to be a stronger person emotionally, a stronger person spiritually. So my question is, are you ready to change your life? because not just me, but there are a whole bunch of people who are so excited and happy to help you change your life. So if you're at the point where you want to do something, whether it's losing 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 pounds, whether it's getting your mindset right to be able to take advantage of what God has to give you, whether it's to become saved, to know that you're going to live forever, that you're going to heaven, whether it's to become, let's see, so we've talked about spiritually, we've talked about mentally, we've talked about physically by eating, we've talked about exercise. So the only thing left is really, are you sleeping well? Anyway, so listen, I am here to talk to you. If you have any questions for anything, if anything that I have said resonates with you, I would so like to talk to you about it. You can give me a call. You can send me a message. You can do any of those things. I'm available on just about all social media platforms by searching for Andy Delgado TX. You can also go to my website, Andy Delgado TX, and there's an info form there where I gather info there. You're welcome to fill out some info, and I will call you and we'll talk about it and see if there's anything that you want to do in your life that I can help you with. On the other side of that, if you need help with your computers, of course I can do that, because as you can see from the stuff around me, I am a computer guy and help people with that too. Okay, so that's my update. I haven't, people have asked me, Andy, what about your life? In fact, I had somebody at church talking to me, and I thought about and went back to that story of our grand angel running, and my goodness, what if she had been running towards a street or running towards a cliff or something and I couldn't catch her? I was pretty emotional, even just this Sunday, realizing what could have been. So, all right. I hope that you have a fantastic evening. Today is Monday. Some people call it Motivational Monday. I hope maybe I've motivated you to want to change your life, to realize that whatever your situation is, it's not permanent. Just like our time on the earth here is not permanent, right? We have to know that we're going to be where we're going to be eternally. And I pray that for you, that you understand that you can be in heaven whenever whatever happens to end your life. Okay, so I hope that you guys have a fantastic evening. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you or pray with you about. If you are interested, I'm usually on Facebook Live at about 5:15 Central Time every day. I'm late today because it was a busy Monday with computer stuff. So I hope to talk to you again soon. Be blessed. If anything I said resonates with you, get in touch with me. I'll talk to you later. I hope you have a super fantastic evening. Make sure that you tell everybody that you know and love, that you love them, that you appreciate them, and that you are willing to help them out if they need help, right? All right. I'll talk to you later. Be blessed. Bye-bye.